Namaste, welcome along to Got Kush TV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. You're here with your Ankh doctor. We're holding a little informal reasoning and meditation with our good brother, the Honourable Leo Muhammad. And I do say that Honourable Leo Muhammad, it's always great to be in his company, and you really want to hear some of the things that we're saying off camera, but we'll let you inside some of the things we're about to say on camera. How you doing, my brother? I'd like to say assalamu alaikum. Namaste, as we say.
Yes,
bow to the divine or the divinity within you.
Yes, sir.
As always, it's been really interesting hearing you on this little project we've got going here at Got Kush TV. We won't tell them too much about what it is. We'll surprise them with that. But I just thought, yeah, let's hold a meds, hold a reasoning in relation to current affairs, what's taking place at this present time. We've kind of crossed paths in the wind with the whole activism thing in terms of Black Lives Matter and what's been taking place from America here into the UK. What are your thoughts at this present time in regards to the whole, let's start I suppose with the whole activism thing, Black Lives Matter thing, George Floyd. Give us a take on what you think at this present time, and we'll give you ours.
Yeah, it's an idea whose time has come, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We've been heading this way for a very long time, and it's not the culmination, but it's the beginning of a process of change and reform. And it's something that it's precipitated, or it's been the access has turned on the George Floyd incident, but that's not the totality of it. This is a culmination of years and years of oppression and brutality and crimes against humanity that people have woken up to and are now reacting to, and people have fought, bled and died in order to bring about this type of sea change, this type of movement and momentum toward a different reality. So even, you know, this COVID-19 type of thing that's going on, where the language now is that there's a new normal. Yeah, because there's going to be, nothing is going to be, at the end of this whole process, nothing is going to be like it was before.
It's interesting you say that. Sorry to cut you here, Leo. When you talk about nothing's going to be the same, because I can remember doing a radio program where we were explaining to people that activism, that Black Power, that whole movement, Pan-African movement, for want of a better word, that's been going since the apartheid struggle right up to now. It's going to become fashionable. It's going to become popular. It's going to become to everybody's consciousness. About 2015-16, we did this program. Nobody could see it then, but we could see it coming.
Yes.
Partly because more and more people were being awoken up, and partly because I say you feel the powers that be are trying to control the narrative in terms of our struggle against racism with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, so you know, believe me, brother, they thought that even the word black had been buried. They thought it had been buried. We had now become urban. We have become, you know, African Americans and whatever. Black British or BAME and all of this stuff. But you see, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan said many years ago, brother, that this vexed question of race will be pivotal in the future in terms of the change that Almighty God has determined will happen in terms of, and I will make all things new. And so they thought that this whole thing of black had gone away, but no. You see, now black is front and center once again, because it can't be buried. Because you see, brother, you know, unfortunately, many of our people see black in a negative. Oh, black. The enemy made black negative, but black, brother, black is full of energy and power. That's why oil is black. That's why coal is black. That's why all of these elements that they need in the African
space is black.
Come on, man. That's why the sun is black. That's why to bring a new life onto the planet, you have to go into the triple black womb of the female.
That's right. Come on.
Because that's where the power is. So black is now back in the forefront, and that's not what they wanted. They wanted to bury that. And you know, the reality is that, you know, brother, they tried to guide our struggle into a cul-de-sac. They try to turn us into these little pseudo Englishmen or pseudo Americans, and make us to feel that we had joined something and that we were now living in a post-racial society after or during Obama's time, when in reality what they were doing was continuing to conspire against us. Because, brother, what they're frightened of is what our dear sister, our late sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, talked about, which is fear of genetic annihilation.
Yes.
And as a people, as original people, brother, you know, we are growing exponentially. We don't die, we multiply.
That's right.
And so despite all of what they've been doing over the years, trying to eliminate us from the planet, we continue to grow. It's
funny you said that, fear of genetic annihilation, because on our social media page we posted the other day, we're now appearing on bus covers or bus stands, one child, one world. Yeah, and many of us who have been awoken, yeah, either by Elijah Muhammad or by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, the great Bibi Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, or by Baba Tumray or Dr. Malachi York. Many of us knew this day and time was coming whereby the New World Order would be dictating one child per family. Mm-hmm. Because of, as you're speaking, the genetic annihilation of the Caucasian race, of white supremacy.
Yes.
Primarily because of how they interact with nature.
Yes.
And nature has its defences.
Absolutely,
so,
brother.
do you feel, where everybody's talking about Bob Marley, one love, let's get together and all be right, do you feel that we could ever really get together as a harmonious society, or is it that time for us as black people, Nubian Melanites, to come away and build our own great civilizations as we built in Timbuktu, in ancient Tamare or Kemet?
We have to do both. We have to do both. We have to separate, brother, and have our own. One of the reasons why we continue to suffer in the manner in which we do as a people, wherever you find us on the planet, is because we have bought into somebody else's idea of what this life is about, and we've bought into somebody else's Eurocentric ideas of what culture and nation looks like. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, we've aborted the idea of a black nation, of a black presence that is powerful in and of its own right. So we got excited over Wakanda and the fictional Hollywood Wakanda, but we refused to build a real Wakanda where black people control all of the resources within a region, control the economics and the politics and the social dynamics. But we can't go to any table and negotiate with any other group without our own. God helps the child who has his own. So we have to separate and build for ourselves and have our own, but at the same time, there are many white people, brother, who recognize that as an original man and as original people, that this planet will never be right until the indigenous original people take the lead.
Yes.
And so in that kumbaya, we're all going to be together, whatever, that can only happen and that can only work when the black man and woman take the lead. It can only happen, brother. It can only happen when we take the lead, when not take the lead to be the big boss, to be the new tyrant over people. We're the only people, brother, based on our undeserved suffering over the last 465 years. We're the only people, brother, qualified to give freedom, justice, and equality, regardless to creed or class or color, to the entire human family. We're the only ones, brother, because based on what we've been through, we would never want to put even a dog through what we've been through. We're the only ones who are qualified to be able to give that type of justice, even to white people who have been unjust to us, because we don't think like them, brother.
That's correct.
We don't think like them. We don't have that vengeful. See, I did a lecture, brother, speaking for about 1 hour and a half, and then there was a white man in the audience in the front row. And when I finished, it was questions and answers, and the white man was crying. And he said, I've listened to you for 1 hour and a half, and he said, based on what you said, if I was you, if I was a black man like you, I would hate all white people. I said to that white man, I said, and that's why you should be happy that black people don't think like you. Because every morning when you get out of your bed, the first thing you should do is get on some surface, some prayer mat or something, and thank God that black people don't think like white people. Because if we thought like you, that not one of you would be left alive on the planet.
There's a meme that goes around social media, says it's a good job black people are only seeking equality.
There you go.
Not looking for...
There you go. Not looking for revenge.
Yeah, and you're right in when you're saying is that because we have a stance of love for self, love for our race, love for our women, love for humanity,
yes,
from a black person's viewpoint, mind, perspective, it doesn't mean that we hate all other races.
Yes.
It just means we recognise, as you're saying rightly, my brother, the suffering that we have gone through as a race,
yes,
and that we no longer intend to tolerate, not only for ourselves but for our children,
for anybody else,
and for our grandchildren, who at this present time, I was having a discussion and I was explaining that especially with this so-called, as you was mentioning, new normal, this whole coronavirus, COVID situation that we find ourselves in, whereby we're being reprogrammed into a new world order to accept a new normal, whichever way you want to word it at this present time. What's your take on what you see taking place? Because a lot of people are beginning to realise this is not about our health, this is really about control.
Absolutely, brother. But you see, again, you know, we will be vulnerable to these machinations from those spiritual powers in high places if we don't come together and unite as a people, putting aside artificial labels like Muslim, like Christian, like Pan-Africanist or nationalist or Hebrew, and all of these things, brother, that we fight each other over, which are so irrelevant when it comes to our brotherhood and the fact that we are family.
Come on.
We have to come together today, brother, like never before, in order that when they try to roll out these New World Order agenda items, that we are able to resist the devil and force the devil to flee from us, brother. We say, get thee behind me, Satan.
Yep,
but if we are a individual doing our individual thing,
we get into compliance, man.
Come on, brother. So they have their plan. In the Holy Quran, it says that Satan plans, or the devil plans, or in fact, in one place it says the Jews plan, and Allah plans, and Allah is the best planner.
Yeah, in Atonism, we say they have a plan, we have a plan. The Most High is the planner of plan, or the Most High and is the planner of planner. So I totally feel you when you're explaining that. And
yes, and let's just be clear. You see, when we say Jews, we're not talking about no real Jews. See, because a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, a Hebrew, a Rasta, look, man, we are. If we're true believers under all of those faith traditions, we're brothers. We're in love. But we're talking about some people masquerading as Jews. The book says they say they are Jews, but they are not Jews. God talking, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Yes, that's what it says in the book of Revelations.
There you go.
If you want to look at the quote. Yeah, I often ask that question. One day they're going to say that the Bible is anti-Semitic because of that quote in Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews, they are not. This is a synagogue of Satan who worships in a synagogue. Right? But the way the world is running at this present time, and with all the, I call it political correctness foolishness going on, that quote will be seen as anti-Semitic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you see, it doesn't matter. You see, brother, you know, God is not mocked. See, there is a force and a power in this universe, brother. There's a force and a power in you, which is bigger than you. The one in me is bigger than me. It's bigger than this world. It's bigger than any label that they want to throw out. Brother, they've been calling the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan that ugly name for nearly 40 years, brother.
And we cannot be anti-Semitic when you actually look at that. The etymology of the word Semitic, it tells you African Asian culture. I often say this, African Asian culture, of which that can only be people of a melanin hue.
We're the
or
mothers
dark
and
melanin.
fathers of the Semitic people, brother.
That's correct.
To be anti-Semitic would be to be against
anti-black
ourselves.
or anti-Asian.
Come on, come on. So this is a fake labeling of a people in order to try to demonize people for speaking truth to evil, or condemning evil, or condemning wickedness wherever we find it in the world. And it don't matter what the person looks like, brother, whether they're black, whether they're brown, whether they're yellow people, whether they're red people, or whether they are white people. Wherever we see evil, brother, it is incumbent on us to condemn it.
That's correct.
You see, and it doesn't matter what the faith tradition of the perpetrator is. If he claims to be a Jew, we call it out, brother. If he claims to be a Muslim, we call it out. If he claims to be a Christian, we call it out. It's irrelevant to us. The name calling that we then become subject to by pointing out such things, because in the end, brother, you know, it's like when you call something outside of its name, unless that thing acknowledges what it's been called, then that name calling has no power.
That's correct.
You understand what I'm saying? So we don't have to.
We comprehend it as, if I may help you a little bit here, battling against spiritual wickedness in high places, which the scriptures also says, because that's what we know we are battling against.
That's
spiritual wickedness in high places. Who control the governance at this present time via white supremacy? You would know that better than me, as you're going to say. They control the media.
So the point is that, you see, brother, we've got to be careful that our focus is not on Satan and what Satan can do, what Satan is planning to do, what Satan intends to do, but our focus should be on the internal God of self and the God of the universe, and what he says is about to happen. And that's what we project into the world. We don't waste our time worrying about what. See, brother, my attitude is this. I've got a son who is 11 years old. I've got children who are much older than that. But what that means when I look at my little son's face, brother, is that I love life. I want to grow old. I want to see his children, and I want to see maybe his children's children. But brother, I'm not so much in love with my life that I'm going to be so cowardly as to fear for my life in speaking truth to the wicked.
Yes.
It's irrelevant, because as you and I are speaking right now, there are little babies dying on our planet.
That's correct. Yemen.
There you go.
Congo.
Yemen and the Congo and all over, brother, in Syria still.
Yes.
But it's just not in the news right now, because somebody is determined that that's not newsworthy, but they continue to die under bombs and via bullets and via the lack of proper healthcare and medicine and so on and so forth. So if a child can be dying right now, brother, me, who I've now reached the ripe age of, say, 32. Yeah? So,
I've just joined you.
You understand what I'm saying? Well, I've got nothing to complain about, brother. I've actually lived longer than Martin Luther King. I live longer than Michael Jackson. I live longer than so many of these greats. Who am I, brother, to be so cowardly that I'm now, don't kill me, Mr. Devil. Come on, man. I say, you see, brother, if we have to die for this truth, then I'll repeat what the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. He said, I won't run from you, I will run to you.
Come on. Because,
brother, they can kill the flesh, but they can never, ever, brother,
kill the spirit.
Kill a spirit like this. I told some people a long time ago. I heard what Marcus Garvey said. He said, look for me in the whirlwind.
And we can see a lot of whirlwind happening in the world right about now with what they call climate change.
Brother, I have to tell you, brother, when I look in the mirror, brother, I see Marcus.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I see Patrice Lumumba. I see Steve Biko. I see them, brother.
Nelson Mandela.
In me.
Yeah.
And that's what the enemy don't realize, brother. He can't kill us. We don't die.
His biggest fear was a black Messiah coming forth into the world to unify
and electrify the masses of our people,
which is taking place at this present time as we speak. And I often say to people,
he lives, brother.
Our job is awakeners. That's not our job. The Messiah is to come. And he will be here. Henceforth, why you see this attack via, and I say attack on the various peoples of the world via COVID-19, etc., etc. For a long time, I know you've been very interested in eating to live, in the sense of health is our wealth, and boosting our immune system. So anybody listening, because I know you're somebody who attracts large audiences wherever you speak or go, in terms of people's health and putting forward solutions to what's taking place, what can we offer to anybody that be listening here in terms of diet and fighting the corona COVID crisis that we're in?
A lot of our people, brother, have been hoodwinked and fooled into thinking that wealth is money.
Or pharmaceuticals can cure you just like that.
Yeah, that fiat money, that's wealth, or the car that we drive, or the house that we live in, and these trinkets, these material things. Brother, your health is your wealth. In fact, health and wealth are the same word. It's the same word when you analyze it in terms of etymology and where it comes from and how they interpose on one another. Health and wealth are the same. And when you are healthy, you are rich. You're wealthy, brother. And that's why a rich man will give all his wealth to have good health. You understand? And there's a scripture that
or to look like we do at our age.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. So as a people, in today's modern time, now we have electric cars, but let's stick with the internal combustion engine for a second and talk about that petrol-driven car. Most modern cars now say unleaded fuel only.
Yes.
None of us will ever think, okay, let me try some paraffin today. Or let me try some leaded fuel, or let me try some diesel in my petrol-driven car. Let me try some water. We're just not going to do it, brother. We're going to go with the manufacturer's instruction because we want the optimum use of that vehicle.
Come on.
This body, brother, comes with instructions. And we are only to put the best food, the best fuel into this, and at prescribed times. But what's happened to the human being today, brother, is that we are out of control when it comes to what we throw into our mouths and then ultimately goes into our bloodstream and into our stomachs and into our brain and into our superstructure. And so what I would encourage everybody to do, and I would say, if you can, get How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is a critical book today. But I would say, delve into your diet. Look at what you're eating. We should be really eating a plant-based diet today. As human beings, especially as indigenous, original people. We should be eating plenty of vegetables, plenty of fruits. Now, I know many of the vegetables and the fruits today have been contaminated. Many of them, even they put the label organic on it, and it's not even organic now. And they're injecting stuff. They're putting DNA of animals into tomatoes and putting. I mean, brother, this thing is nasty. What these people are doing. However, there is still good food out there that you can find. There are farmers markets and there are specialized people who make sure that what they're giving you is what it says on the label in terms of natural foods. Fruits and vegetables. That should be our staple. That should be our focus. In the Nation of Islam, we eat that small white navy bean that they sometimes call, it's called a haricot bean or the navy bean. The reason it's called a navy bean is because the Royal Navy, that's what they went to war on. This is the same bean that they used to make baked beans. That's what the white man was eating when he was robbing the land from the Native Americans in the Wild West. That bean is full of energy and power. And sometimes you hear and the old people will say, oh, that child is full of beans.
Yes.
That's the beans they're talking about. The beans, the pulses that Daniel and the boys ate in the Bible, that's the same bean. This bean is so powerful we are taught that it can protect us from radiation fallout. And so this is a natural food that we should all explore and investigate and get it and start to use it in our kitchens and keep our diets simple. In the Nation of Islam, we're taught that whole meal bread, whole wheat bread, simple, just keep it simple. And I know a lot of our people say, oh, I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't drink milk. But, there's a reason why the scripture talks about the righteous drinking milk and honey. And I know it sounds like a contradiction, but the creatures are given to the highest form of life on the planet, which is the human being, for our use. That's why we wear leather shoes. The leather comes off the back of a cow. Let's not be hypocrites and say I can't drink the cow's milk, but I can wear leather shoes. Or you understand what I'm saying? All of these things that we do which don't make any sense. There are some creatures who are made specifically that we can take from them that which is nutritious and good for us, like the bee and that honey.
That's right.
It has healing qualities in it, and the milk is the same. In the Holy Quran, it's described as a drink that comes from betwixt the blood and the feces, which is pure, which is a pure drink and good for the drinker. Because that's how God designed it. It's like, that's what, between the blood and the feces. Well, where did we come from? That sperm came out of a penis. Mm-hmm. The same place where we comes from.
Yep, break it down.
That baby came out of a vagina, the same place where we comes from.
Uh-huh.
And when the baby comes out, oftentimes...
And the menstrual cycle.
Come on, man. We just have to stop this, the manure that we use in the farm, in the proper organic farming, is horse manure or cow manure.
And that creates
full of
the best
nitrogen
vegetables and the best fruit.
Our food is coming out of the dirt of the earth. That's but it's good for you.
That's right. Especially when you're talking about the day and time we're in relation to Corona, COVID-19.
Come on
they're
now.
making us wash the bacteria
sanitizing
everything.
No,
that ain't really all good for us.
That's not real,
when we're looking at the reality, as you're saying, of our health and how our health is wealth, and some of the grime is good for us, because this is what we're saying here, right about that. Some people will listen to this and think, are these two brothers off their ruckers? No, we're not off our ruckers.
Come on, brother. Yeah, come on.
Some of the grime is good for us, right?
Of course it is, brother. We are from the earth. Mm-hmm. And, the first job given to the human being in the Bible is a gardener, brother. But now today
farmer.
We've lost all of that knowledge now. Now we think it's about having sanitized environments where there are no germs. There's no such thing.
Or having enough money to go to Aldi, Lidl, or if you make a bit more, you can go to Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's because their food is a bit better. Let me let you into a secret. All supermarkets get their food from the same place. In fact,
just different labels.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. In fact, if you look at Sainsbury's, you look at Waitrose, a lot of their food is genetically modified because they own genetically modified farms. And Lord Sainsbury's, he was the science minister for the Labour Party. I just wanted to interject there. So a lot of the foods in our supermarket, especially the fruit, the seedless. I hate to go in the supermarket and see seedless fruit. Yeah. In fact, I'm starting to boycott supermarkets because I hate to see this seedless fruit because I know that it's total. Genetically modified food that is designed to rearrange us.
When we come together as a people, we must have some of this land that we can call our own.
Yes.
And we must grow our own food. We've got to take our mouth out of that white man's kitchen, because even what he can consume as food and survive, it will kill us, brother. Mm-hmm. It's not good for us. Mm-hmm. And so we have to have our own means of food production, and the only way you do that is by controlling the land. And so we have to return to the land. We need to acquire land. We need to have that in order for us to become a viable people again. And that's going to happen, and it's happening. And in America, in the nation, we have land and some land, and we're acquiring more, and we want to acquire more all the time, and we have to do the same thing here. We have to do the same thing in the Caribbean. We have to do the same thing in Africa, because many of the African nations, in terms of the land, brother, it doesn't belong to the masses of the people. they're controlled by multinationals from outside or foreign governments, France and America and Britain and Germany and all these people controlling the land, brother, and the resources that are in the land when that belongs to the people. And so we have to have some of this land, some of this earth that we can call our own, as the Honourable Elijah Muhammad said, continuously.
In relation to the present time, as I said, we've been passing a lot in the activist circles, seeing you at various Black Lives Matter and the reparations of which you had a big part in helping to organise and get the numbers out onto the streets. What have you planned at the present time, or what do you have forthcoming in the future that we can look forward to?
I mean, to be honest, brother, you know, demonstrating and things of that nature.
Some people say marching is a waste of time. We're wasting our time as old men out here marching.
Well, you know, I think everything has its place, but I think more importantly now than marching and demonstrating is we have to come together. And of course, because of these COVID-19 legislations or whatever, it makes it very difficult now for us to even physically congregate together. So what needs to happen is that we must use the modern technology and begin coming together in that way in order that we can maintain our unity and we build our unity together and we plan together and we come together more and more and more, so that when we have the opportunity to physically come together, that we as a people become nation builders in our thought process, in our words and in our deeds. Everything today must be about nation building. Everything today must be about unifying the masses of our people, unifying the different organizations. Our great brother Tubada, our rap artist, has recently produced a new track called One Voice.
Yes.
And it's a very, very powerful and beautiful document, brother. That musical track is very, very powerful, and the message contained within it is the message that I believe that today all of us should be carrying, which is one voice, where we begin now to speak with one voice. It doesn't mean that we just have one person speaking, but what it means is that whenever we get up and we make pronouncements in this world, it should be
focused on
coherent, and it should be in congruence with an idea and a plan that we have agreed upon and that we're about to execute.
Have you any edutainment? I know you love edutainment coming forth in comedy, because as I said, there's a lot of artists now switched on, giving it their platform or using their platform to come and explain to us we need to get together.
All of a sudden the BBC have refound The Real McCoy, so that's back on BBC iPlayer now. But in terms of myself using edutainment as a vehicle at the present time, I'm not going to do that. I've been doing that for over 25 years, going up and down the country, making our people laugh and making us think. Today, my approach is a straight word. I'm not going to try and make you laugh. I'm now going to come with the straight word, because I think I've proven over many, many years that I can entertain you. But this is not a day for entertainment. This is a day for some serious contemplation. This is a day for some serious work. This is a day for some serious unity and some serious building. And so if the Creator spares my life and continues to give me breath, I'm going to be using that, brother, to give a very clear, unambiguous word to our people that says, come together now, like never before. And we have to have soldiers, both male and female soldiers, who are willing to stand up and defend our people and defend our community.
It's great you're saying
defend our children and defend our women.
It's great you're saying that, Leo, because a lot of people would say these are the last days and times without actually, well, the planet is not going to end, nature is not going to end.
No.
Yeah, but no. Systems come and systems go. So, yeah.
There is a world, brother, that's on its way out.
Yes.
That world of white supremacy is finished.
Yes.
It's finished, brother. There's nothing that can stop it. But nature abhors a vacuum. Nature don't deal with vacuums, brother.
We need a replacement.
So as it comes down, we better be ready to fill that vacuum.
Yes.
And so this is why I'm saying this is the time now for preparation, for training, for getting ourselves qualified, brother. It's about study. This is a time to study like never before. And the number one study must be the knowledge of self, and the knowledge of our Creator, the knowledge of our power base, who is God. And God ain't no white man. And God ain't no fairy tale floating on a cloud.
Can we say the knowledge of our spirituality?
We can say that.
Yeah.
There's different ways to express it, but I don't run away from using the term God, because I know that many of our people today are in rejection of that, and what we don't understand when we do that, that's called throwing the baby out with the bathwater. No, get rid of the filthy water that they bathed us in for all of these years with their fairy tale religions or whatever, but understand that there is a real live God, that the black man and the black woman is God. And we got to understand this, because in the absence of that knowledge, we're weak, brother, if we don't understand that there's something about us bigger than ourselves.
Looking forward to having you on Sunday, the 18th of October, the AL-KHEM-I of African spirituality, where you'll be giving a presentation for Got Kush TV, right?
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, brother. It's going to be a great day, and different spiritual entities will be putting forward different spiritual solutions, and I'm going to be one of those who will attempt to give a spiritual direction to the people on the 18th of Black History Month 2020 as part of the Got Kush TV presentation on that day.
You know, it's been great holding Hold-A-Medz. It was informal, but you know people's going to watch this and want to see more. So hopefully you can come and Hold-A-Medz with your Ankh, Doctor.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
These conversations are critically important for our people, because if we think we know something, we should share it. And
remember to check out Sunday, the 18th of October 2020, the African alchemy of African spirituality, or the alchemy of African spirituality, right here on Got Kush TV. Some of the finest, as Leo Muhammad is explaining to you, exponents of spirituality that we can find in the UK to explain to you at an introductory level what African spirituality is and what African spirituality isn't. And as we say, we got to take the African out of the Quran, we got to take the African out of the Torah, we got to take the African out of the Christianity, we got to take the African out of Buddha, we got to take the African out of Hinduism, put it all together so it makes sense for us in this day and time. It's been great being here with Honourable Leo Muhammad as a guest. Make sure you check out all that's good on Got Kush TV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. I'm your Ankh Doctor. We will be back. You ain't got nothing if you ain't got Kush. Namaste.
GotkushTV.com is now opening for you to advertise, calling all businesses, promoters, event organizers, artists, service providers, content creators, and brands of every kind. If you are looking to share your business or services with a growing and diverse audience, Got Kush TV is the space for you. Advertising space is available all over the website. You can advertise here, 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 and you can even advertise here. All spaces are going at very reasonable rates, and we even have a design and production service, especially for those who will need an advert designed or produced for you. For inquiries, don't hesitate to contact us. info@gotkushtv.co.uk. Advertising on gotkushtv.com. We look forward to hearing from you.